Hello everyone and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Pretty big day today in Heroes. By the way, in case you hear like a very soft buzzing sound in the background, I did get a new fan for my room to help cool my room down because it tends to get pretty hot in here, especially when I'm recording. It's very close to me, kind of, pointed right at me, so in case you hear that, that's what it is. But we have a event going on, is the Fall of King's Crest, and it has a lot of quests actually for you to do, like along with getting some new skins, like get this many camps in this many games, you'll get this skin for Zarya. You do a certain quest, you get this for Maiev, this one for Alexstrasza, this one for Silverman. You get to be able to do each of those different kinds of quests in order to be able to get different skins and different extra things, and you can go back and forth between them. It's a really big event, with all these different quests and such. But one of the more notable things that happened were a couple of big, I guess they're not calling them reworks anymore. I guess that's Blizzard is trying to put an official term on it there, because I think the video was Hero Update. So I guess they're just calling them updates now. But one of those updates, the two were the Queen of Blades, Kerrigan, and the other was Brightwing. We'll take a look at Brightwing in the next video. But we're going to take a look at Kerrigan first, because I've played her more often, and of course she's a more relevant character in Blizzard compared to Brightwing, who was not really a known character until she was introduced in Heroes, and then they made her in WoW. Which is also the case with other characters like Lunara, Sergeant Hammer, Morales. They weren't characters until they were made characters in Heroes of the Storm. But Kerrigan received a number of changes. For one thing, her Q got a number of changes. I'm actually looking at the patch notes right now on my other screen here. It now has a couple of charges. It has 2 charges. Its range was reduced. Its mana cost was also reduced down to 20. And its damage was also reduced, but it has a new functionality. It now also refunds 20 mana when it's used on an enemy that dies within 1.5 seconds. So if you use this the way you have always pretty much been using it, where you would queue an enemy like in the minion lane, then you would kill it, and you get the cooldown. Now it has the talent you used to pick at level 4, where when you do that, you would get mana back. So now it's just built into her kit. So I like that. That's another change they made. Her W got a change. Its damage was reduced. However, there are talents to dramatically increase its damage. Or at least one talent I know of. Her E, Primal Grasp, its pull damage was reduced from 114 down to only 125. But it has a new functionality. 2.5 seconds after using Primal Grasp, Kerrigan's damages all nearby enemies for 180 damage. So I mean, that may not sound like much, but remember, of course, this does scale. Her trait got a little change. Your shield amount, you gain now 15%. It used to be 10%. 15% of damage dealt from a basic attacks and abilities as shields for 6 seconds. Shield amount gained is doubled against heroes. Now, as far as her ults, Maelstrom got no changes, but the Ultralisk got a little bit of love. So now, after 1.5 seconds, summon an Ultralisk that rushes forward upon spawning, dealing damage to the first enemy hero and stunning them for half a second. The Ultralisk basic attacks deal 50% of their damage in an area. So, so the rest of it is pretty much the same as it's been with the micromanaging and such, but the fact that now it's a skill shot stun when it starts off is actually a pretty good addition here, adding a bit of extra crowd control. It's a very small one, only half a second stun, but it's still a stun. That's still pretty nice. Now, whether or not that becomes valued over the AoE damage that Maelstrom provides, I mean, I've always been one of those that does enjoy the Ultralisk, especially when you get to level 20 and you turn into the Torask where it keeps reviving itself. It was just always great watching the Torask in action, just doing things to help the team win. Alright, now the talent tree. This is where things get really interesting. So, you can have it where your Ravage will give you shields for your trait. Here's a talent that you should be able to, or you were able to pick up at some point, like level 4 or something. Except it's changed a bit. Regen globes now grant 40 points of shields per second, and while your shields are active, your health and mana regen is increased. That used to be a talent, but now they've added the regen globe part of it. Fury of the Swarm. This used to be one you could pick up at level 4 for add some cleaving AoE damage. Gain 10% more shields from basic attacks. After casting Ravage, Kerrigan's next 2 basic attacks within 3 seconds splash for 100% damage around the target. So I actually used to like picking this up when I would play on Infernal Shrines, because of the amount of little objective monsters that would be around you. You could be able to cleave around them to try and take them down faster, though Kerrigan didn't necessarily need that because she could just keep using her Q and just take it out. That's why Kerrigan was so strong on that map, because she could solo that objective while the rest of her team just fought off the enemy team. At level 4, we have a quest for her Q. Minions and heroes that die within 1.5 seconds of being hit by Ravage increase its damage up to a maximum of 50. The reward is, after reaching a 50 damage increase, Ravage gains 50 additional damage. Keep in mind, this, I'm pretty sure this does scale. Damaging an enemy increases the damage of Kerrigan's next Impaling Blades within 10 seconds by 15% up to 150%. So, yeah, remember what I was saying about the talent? So the baseline damage got nerfed, but boy, would this do a lot more damage if you're able to scale it up correctly. 150% extra damage. That's incredible. Sonic Pulse. Primal Grasp explodes a second time, 2.5 seconds after the first one. Level 7. Damaging a hero with Primal Grasp reduces the Q cooldown by 4 seconds. Hitting an enemy hero with Ravage grants a charge of Ravage can only occur once every 10 seconds per hero. So I saw Pally Time messing with this in his theory crafting, and with the dummies in try mode, and you could just boom, 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 boom. And then he was also trying it with the Vikings, and just the idea that she could just jump from hero to hero was a hilarious idea, like when you thought about it and on paper. Though I don't think it's necessarily going to be a strong meta pick. It's just the idea is just provide some fun ideas. I think, anyway. Maybe it will be a very strong meta pick. Though, usually, with Bladed Momentum, you're then able... that usually ends up being one of the stronger choices here. Where basic attacks, we know what Battle Momentum is at this point. Level 13, each enemy hero hit by Primal Grasp grants Spell Armor for 4 seconds. So, each enemy hero hit grants 15 Spell Armor. So let's say, for example, you hit 4 enemy heroes. That's 60 spell armor for 4 seconds. So let's say you grasp for the enemy heroes, and then Chromie is going to combo you. You then get 60 spell armor to try and reduce the damage from Chromie. That's pretty nice. Now, the stars would have to align incredibly well for you to pull this off, to make it as well as it sounds on paper. Increase the amount of shields granted from damage up by 15%, but reduce the duration by 3 seconds. Keep in mind, this only lasts for 6 seconds, so you're cutting it in half. 3 seconds of I don't think I'm one of those players who could be good enough to be able to pull that off. But this is a interesting one right here. Chrysalis. Nice story, lore relevant talent here. Activate to place Kerrigan in a Chrysalis. Where have we heard that before? With 550 health for 5 seconds. While inside, Kerrigan regenerates 5% of her maximum health per second. Enemies can destroy the Chrysalis to end its effects early. And 550 health, that's nothing. So, you could use this as a, sort of like an ice block, but it's more like a cocoon, like an Ubrax cocoon, where they can't attack it and destroy it. Though it's not your allies that need to attack it, it's the enemy. So they can quickly get you out of it. But what I would like to know is that somehow enough to shield you from some other things you want to shield yourself from? Like, could you use this to save yourself from a Kael'thas Pyroblast? It's yet another thing that could possibly counter Pyroblast. This is why I don't pick Pyroblast as Kael'thas anymore. But it's one of those things where I'd have to see it tested out against various different things to see how durable is this Chrysalis. It doesn't sound like it's tough like an ice block. It sounds like just a way for her to be able to momentarily shield herself from something, but also be able to try and regen her health. Maybe you would use this just like hidden away like in a bush to try and regen your health a bit more before re-engaging. Level 16, Ravage grants 5% spell power for 4 seconds up to 40%. Sounds good. Painful strikes. Enemies hit by impaling blades take an additional 75 damage the next 6 times that Kerrigan damages them within 5 seconds. So if you are really good at comboing her abilities or being able to do combos with Kerrigan, that could be a good one for you. Unbridled Energy, damaging a hero with a heroic ability, grants 30% spell power for 4 seconds. Interesting talent here at 16, actually going towards a heroic ability. We don't really see many of those at the 1, 4, 7, 13, 16 talent tiers. It's very interesting that that would be there. Level 20, Omega Storm and Torask, pretty much the same. Psionic Shift is also, it looks like it's pretty much the same. Let me look at the patch notes, see if that got changed at all. Oh, no, I take it back. Hold on. The patch notes say Omega Storm got changed. New functionality. Maelstrom's duration is increased by 0.125 seconds every time it damages an enemy hero. So the more you keep damaging a hero, the longer its duration will go. So that's a new thing that was added there. Psionic Shift. The shield amount is now doubled when damaging enemy heroes. So that's the new thing that was changed here in Psionic Shift. But Assimilation Blades, this is the new talent here. Damaging an enemy increases basic attack damage by 2% for 5 seconds up to 40%. Interesting. So a lot of different things here to definitely add more to her gameplay in terms of skill, it looks like. Looks like there is definitely a Q build within here, although not really here. But here, I don't know if there's really a W build here. It looks like they really wanted Q to get some love. So all these changes they gave to her Ravage, it looks like that's what the build you could go. Otherwise, it looks like there's a different amount of builds that you could go with here. Like maybe if you wanted to go for like an AoE damage build or something like that, even though that's not necessarily what you probably should be doing with Kerrigan, but she does feel a little different now compared to how she used to, where she was so focused on the combo, which I guess you can still do, but things feel... Let's get into a game and let's kind of test some things out here. Oh. Whoops. I had quick match selected. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, while we're waiting, let me go ahead and read you guys the developer comments here in the patch notes regarding this update. Kerrigan is receiving an update to increase the tactical depth of using her abilities and increase the impact that her talents have on her playstyle. We have reduced the range on Ravage, but added a second charge so that smart Kerrigan players can use it to maneuver on the battlefield, as well as utilize a lot of her talents to get the most out of the ability. We've added a secondary explosion to Primal Grasp so that Kerrigan will want to continue to worry about her positioning after her initial engagement occurs, as well as provide the opportunity for new talent interactions. We've also added a skill shot component to Ultralisk so that the heroic can feel like it has a big moment when it is first unleashed. Overall, Kerrigan should play mostly the same, but have increased room for mastery and playstyle specific builds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Combat commencing.
By the way, this is the new mount that I got for ranking high enough in Hero League. I think it's called the Mechalope. Alright, let's see here. Now the thing is, I always liked getting both Assimilation Mastery and Fury of the Storm back in the previous iteration of Kerrigan, because I like being able to increase my regen, as well as being able to get AoE damage and cleave. But obviously I can't do that anymore. Since we are on Dragonshire, I'm going to pick up Assimilation Mastery for those times where I would be in a fight at the shrine, as opposed to needing AoE cleave damage. like with if we were on Infernal Shrines.
Target identified.
Oh my goodness. Bala.
Control them and good news.
What you doing focusing on me? Focus on the minions. Come on. There we go.
I read you.
It's like, come on, you don't... you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna stop. I know there's gonna be some people that are just gonna get irritated by whatever I say or do here.
Hurry, activate the shrines, and the dragon's power is yours.
Alright.
I gotcha.
Oh, stay right there, Vala. Oh, no, no, nope, nope, nope. I almost jumped behind the gate. I'm so glad I didn't get close enough to do that.
Select talent.
Let's do this, Ragnaros. Ah! Oh, I messed up the combo.
Got this.
Ah. Well, if this was quick match, I would say worth because my teammate got the dragon. Ah. You know, there are times where I'll be like, but I had all those shields.
That hurts a lot.
And I'll wonder
Let's not
why
do that.
I died there. But,
Covering ground.
you know, of course, Vala and Rhaegar there, and, you know. That mount is so... leap, 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 leap. Yeah, I don't think I'll be using this mount. I think I'll be switching mounts after this. Let's just say it's not one of the cooler mounts that I've ever gotten from ranking in Hero League. Some of the elemental ones, like the elemental bear and such, those are cool. I like those. This one, not so much. Hello, Diva.
One woman army.
Force her to get into her mech.
Sweep it.
Gosh. There are times I cannot stand Diva.
Time for some payback.
Right there goes the mech. Get back here, Diva. Ah, man.
Pushing ahead.
Alright, let's go with Bladed Momentum. Vala!
Press the attack.
Look, you sippy cup, Tom. Fine, I'll sippy cup too. I'm starting to get irritated by this Vala.
The shrines awaken
Oh my
once
gosh,
more.
get back here.
Who will control
Oh, I hate the smaller... Look at the range here. That's something I don't like. That reduced range on the Q, really, you can really feel that. The range on her Q used to be so good.
I've got this.
Now it just does not feel nearly as good.
Free the
Look at that
Dragon Knight and
circle of
slaughter the
AoE
dragon.
damage there. It's gonna take me a while to try and figure out what's you know, I'm very hesitant to try the Q build.
Time for some
I'm sure it's gonna be the best build, but keep in mind this is gonna be like for really good players. Like I'm talking like master level.
the attack.
No, Diva, no!
In progress.
Oh, I cannot believe I lost that trade. I hate Diva. I cannot believe I lost that trade. But then again, this is the first time I'm trying this new Kerrigan, so it's gonna take me a while. I'll bet if I had a different build going on, I would probably have won that.
Let's not do
Alright, we're gonna try the new Ultralisk. You know what's funny? I selected the
ground.
other difficulty, and yet, even though we're 2 levels ahead, you can tell we're not really... This map is weird in an AI game. It really is.
Get him.
Yeah! There you go. Now go get Diva. No, go get Diva.
Target identified.
Yeah! Ha ha ha!
Nothing can stop me.
Oh, this Vala.
It'd be a pleasure.
There we go.
Come on, give me a challenge.
Huh.
Easy enough.
Come on, give me a challenge. There we go. I am getting mana back, but at the same time I'm not really coordinating these Qs very well. I do like that I can just stand here in the wave, and it just really, it really does help her, lane clear. Especially if I ended up picking, Fury of the Swarm. That probably would have made it, even better.
Press the attack. Right.
Select talent.
Get him, Ultralisk.
Tank for me, Ultralisk. Tank for me. Alright, we're gonna pick up the Chrysalis.
Upgrades, huh?
So let's see how it looks. Actually, while we're at it, by the way, here is her, in case you've never seen it, here's her dance.
Time is fleeting.
Not a very impressive dance. Here's her taunt.
Bring it on.
Alright, nice. Here's the Chrysalis. Now that's a variation because of the skin I'm using.
Sweeping.
If I was using the regular one, it would look like the Chrysalis that we saw in StarCraft. Obviously, I'm sure. Some of you are probably going, well, duh. Look, it's a little thing that they added that I think is really cool. I messed up that cue. Oh, I got it. Oh, nice. And I didn't have to go behind the gate.
Kill confirmed.
Woo. All right.
Think of the same
What are you guys doing letting them push you all the way back? Get him! They're rear extended. Make them pay for it.
this.
Go get him, Ultralisk. Go get Rhaegar.
You're
Ha 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 ha! Get him.
it. Done. Target identified.
Yeah! Now go get Nazebo. Yeah! I love that little micro being able to control my Ultralisk like that. Like, go! Go, my pet!
Target identified.
Go attack them! Oh, man, I messed up there.
This
Vala's gonna get away. Haha, he walked right into it.
The dragon awaits, heroes. Free and destroy your enemy.
There we go.
Right.
Alright. Let's go for painful spikes. I'm not sure that, you know, I doubt you would want to pick the talent involving damage from a heroic if you pick up the Ultralisk. It's probably meant for Maelstrom. Get Rhaegar. Get him. Get him, Ultralisk.
Slayer.
Let's go in for the objective.
Covering ground.
Slain.
Let's get Rhaegar. Let's get Ragnaros. I said let's get Rhaegar.
Time for some payback.
Yeah!
Gotta admit,
Now let's see if I can get rid of this Kree. No, never mind. I didn't realize the Zagara was on my team.
heads up. I'm returning to base.
Look at the Vala. Let's get back. Let's go back and get some mana. All right, now let's head down there. Nice. They want to win the game right now. The Rainer pointed the Hyperion in the wrong direction. Look, and Rainer is gonna die. I'm telling you, the AI at times just baffles me how bad it can be. Like, do they really not care at all about the quality of the AI in this game?
I knew you could do it. Get him.
Yeah.
I've got this. It'd be a
Woo, come on.
good heal.
Yeah.
I read
Got all three of them. Hail to the queen. Thank you, Abathur. Indomitable. Alright. Ah, I'm rusty on the combo. I haven't played Kerrigan in a long time. I used to play her a lot, but I haven't played her in a long time. I'm rusty. I was never really that great when it came to the combos, but I still enjoyed playing her. At least my own little build that I came up with for her. Go. Just drag these in and then boom, AoE damage them. Boom.
Enemy slain.
Come on, Ragnaros. Come back. Yeah! Aha!
covering ground. One in
I like that she's saying things I've heard her say in StarCraft, like covering ground. Alright. Simulation Blades.
target.
Ooh, 22% extra attack damage at that point.
Untenable to oppose.
20 kills. So, again, I don't think this is going to be considered any kind of meta. I probably did a completely wrong build. But, of course, this is the first time I'm trying her out, so, of course, I'm experimenting with things. Ooh, I got the skin for Alexstrasza. So that's a good thing, is that you can get some of these skins that are considered, like, legendary for free if you just do these quests. So because I did 60,000 spell damage, I got the skin for Alexstrasza. So, and you can switch back and forth between them if you just want to first get the skins before doing some of the others. Like, this one gets a crest, this one gets a portrait, this one gets some pack. I don't know what that is. Evil Eyes pack. I'll have to see what that is. But the build we went with today, it's probably a completely wrong build. It's Simulation Mastery, Psionic Pulse, Bladed Momentum, Summon Ultralisk, Chrysalis, Painful Spikes, and Assimilation Blades. You know, I do like to do AoE damage types of builds, especially with Kerrigan, but as well as with some other characters. But I probably would have gotten even more AoE damage value from what I was doing if I had picked up Fury of the Swarm, but I've always liked being able to not only get more shields, but also to increase your health and mana regeneration. I think that can be, at times, very invaluable at times, especially if you go with a jungling build for her, because that can also be applied in battle. So, but I'm sure that this Q build, if it's in the right hands, can just be incredible. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Kerrigan kind of back in the fold, because she's been away for a very long time. Like, nobody played her. Now, I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to play her. So, the other character that received an update was Brightwing, who I've been playing more consistently, including in Hero League. I know a lot of people were like, "Why you're playing her in Hero League?" I thought she was still a really solid, reliable support, and she got a update that is probably going to bolster that. We'll be taking a closer look at her update when we come back. Stay tuned.